One of the veterans of the field and a guy that always comes to Premier Speedway is a guy called Tommy Tomlinson. Good to see you back at Premier, Tom.
Thanks, Charlie. It's been a while since we have been here. Been a little bit busy work-wise, but it's the best complex and the best racing ever. It always is here at the Classic.
That's a big compliment coming from a guy that's on the board at Speedway Park.
Well, we're doing our level best to raise all of our standards, and if we could use Premier Speedway as an example of what we'd like to try to follow, I mean, you can't do it much better than the way you fellas do it.
Well, we had our battle last night trying to keep the track in condition with the rain, but it didn't happen, and that's the first Sprint Car Classic Saturday night that we've had to abandon, but we're back bigger and better tonight, and the sun's even a problem.
It's funny how things seem to go against you in a bit of in a form of runs, but knowing you fellas and the work that I see the fellas doing on the track out there now, I'm sure you'll have another classic that's won by about 1 car length at the end.
Would you like to make a prediction at the moment?
Well, I'd have to say I'm pulling for Max Dumpsney. If he gets a break in this next heat and he's off near the front, I think he'll be very, very, very hard to beat. But Jackie the Jet Hewitt, I'll tell you what, I don't think we've seen anybody drive as quick as him for a long time, especially that last heat that he ran around the outside of everyone. That was outstanding.
Well, we just spoke to him here a while ago, and he's on a real high, and he's full of confidence.
It's a pity that he can't just sort of touch the rest of us on the shoulder and show us how to do it. It really is a rewarding experience to see these American drivers out here, because they really are the best in the world, and all of our fellows who race against them can't do anything but get better by that sort of competition, you know. And they're really good too. You've talked to them about your cars, Jackie in particular. They'll all help you.
So they're a real asset when they come to Australia.
My word, they are. My word, they are.
What about your effort for the weekend? Happy with it at the moment?
A little disappointed, mainly for the crew. They've worked so hard, and I've kind of messed up a couple times, but lost it and spun out. But yeah, we're having fun. That's our main objective, is to have fun in this game. We don't have any delusions of grandeur, but if we can make the big fellas work hard to get past us, we think we've had a good run.
I said here recently that I thought the fun had gone out of racing, but when I talked to you, Tommy, I know it's still there.
Well, we wouldn't be here if we weren't having fun, I can tell you that. That's our cardinal rule. When we stop having fun, we're gone.
Okay, well, it's been great talking to Tommy Tomlinson. Have a great weekend, and we hope we see you after the meeting in one piece. Well, it's not every day we have the reigning Knoxville champion with us, and we're very privileged this year to have the reigning Knoxville champion, Bobby Allen from Pennsylvania. Bob, welcome to Premier Speedway.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Bob, had you heard about the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic before you came to Australia?
No, I never really heard about it. Heard about it before. I've had a lot of my friends come over here, and they've told me the race is pretty different, pretty wild, and whatever. And so these people asked me to come over here, and I've never been here before, because usually I spend this time to get ready for racing. And my kids have kind of grown up. I thought, well, I just like to see the country and just, you know, to see it before I quit racing. And so I'm glad I came. I've learned a lot and seen a lot of the country, and people have been nice to me, so it's been a pretty good experience.
Now, you're pretty unique, not only to drive sprint car, but you build them too and use all your own cars.
Yeah, I like to do it because I've always, when I started when I was younger, and I'd build my race cars, and they seemed to be real fast and faster than most people, so I couldn't understand why I'd buy somebody else's when I was faster than them, so it just left me kind of being that way. Now it's got to be more of a tradition, and people will give me race cars or companies, but it's just that everybody else, no, we want you to run your own cars, so I just seem to continue to that.
Where did it all start? In Pennsylvania?
No, it started really when I was young. I was back in 59, 60, and 61. They had go-kart races that were like world champions. You went all over the world. I went all over, just everywhere in the world. I went about 6 different countries, and I won 2 years of it, so I was a world's go-kart champion, and that kind of gave me a taste of winning a little bit of money and a little bit of prestige. So, man, I said, hey, this is the way I want to live. And then I wanted to go to Indianapolis, and I lived in Miami, and I ran stock cars down there a little bit when I was 18. And Pennsylvania was a big racing ground, so I moved up there and I raced there, and then I became pretty good there, and I'd run 3-4 times a week, and I just started making a living at it doing that, and I just kind of continued that.
So you're a full-time racer?
Yeah, I've been a full-time racer for 20 years.
You like Jack Hewitt? Do you run all sorts of different motor cars during the season, or do you just stick to sprint cars?
No, I just stick to sprint cars anymore. Jack jumps around, runs different. He runs mainly sprint, but he'll run stock cars, champ cars, and whatever. I've ran a couple of them before, but I can race so much that I don't have time to even mess with that stuff. Him just being a driver, he can jump out and jump in a car, and when he's running them other things, I'm still running sprint cars. So it's I run with him a lot of races. He does good back in the States also.
Winning the Knoxville Nationals this year, is that going to be an advantage to you in the future?
Oh, it's a good race to win. I like winning it. I don't know about advantage. I mean, it's a nice race to win. It pays a lot of money. It pays a lot of prestige. I just like winning races. If it's a little race and everybody's there and I do real well and I win the race, I'm happy.
What sort of tracks do you prefer, Bob?
I prefer them smooth. I don't like them rough. Everybody says I like them real slick, but that's because I didn't have very good motors, and we got slick, I'd win. But I like the racetracks. Actually, I don't care if they're wet or dry, just as long as they're smooth. I don't like them rough. And I like them, actually I like a racetrack that has a top groove and a bottom groove and slick in the middle. That way then, if somebody's running high, you can pass them down low. If they're running low, you can go high. And if you screw up, they run the middle and you can outdrive them. But I don't like one-lane racetracks. They're too hard to pass, and they get in too much trouble a little bit.
What's your favorite track back home?
My favorite track, I'd say, I like all racetracks, but Eldora, I'd say, be my favorite track. Most race drivers, their favorite track is the racetrack they win at. They say then 2 years later they're not winning at it, so they don't like that track no more. Well, I don't win Eldora all the time, but as far as watching races and being at racetracks, I think that's about the best racetrack.
Okay, back to this weekend, and this is one of the most prestigious races in Australia, the Australian title, and you're not allowed to run in that, so what would it mean to win the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic?
Well, it pays $8,000, so that means good. Plus, I've kind of been hitting and missing here. The people I drive for, they're really new at it, and I'm new here, so I've been guessing, I've been messing up a lot. Cars a little different, and so if I happen to get everything together, in fact, I'm going to start looks like from 8th back to 10th. And if I win this race, I'll be real happy.
Okay, well, you got the challenge here in front of you at the moment. In the point score at the moment, I think you're down in about the 4th or 5th row, and you're coming out of the second or the last round of heats off the tail. So what's the game plan?
The game plan is to try to get as far up as I can to get some points so I can start at least where I'm at or maybe better in the feature. I mean, that's the way it looks to me. What do you have to do?
I suppose the main rivals will be Dumsney and Hewitt. You said that over at Mount Gambier the other night when you came third to them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones, but it's Danny Smith and Hewitt and Dumsney and Tattersall. They're all, George and his son, they all do good. It's a hard thing here. The biggest thing I found these racetracks at home, as you race, you change your car with the racetrack as it changes and you go along. Here, I'm not accustomed to it. They change the racetrack for you, so it's very hard to keep. Not only do you got to change your car, you've got to wait for the last minute when they change the track, and you got to run back there and see if you can get everything changed. So you either got to be lucky or you got to have everything organized and watch them. So as soon as they change the racetrack, you can be ready to change it. Because like right now, if you're in the next heat, I think you're be screwed a little bit.
Okay, Bob, well, you're in heat 14. You're coming off the rear. Best of luck. We hope we can talk to you after the race meeting.
I do too. Thank you all.
Well, the last couple of years, we've really been enthralled with the way the youngsters have been going in the sprint car scene, and one of them here with me at the moment is Jamie Cobby, and welcome back to Premier, Jamie.
Thanks very much, Charlie.
Jamie, you've been around since you've been 16. You've driven a few different types of cars, and you've got into the big league at the moment with sprint cars. I heard an interesting story yesterday from the owner of your car, Harry Delamont. I said to him, how come you picked up Jamie Cobby? And he said, Steve Brazier rang me. All the fans who remember Steve Brazier won the national title, and he's always on the lookout for talent. You must have impressed him somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I don't know how. I guess living with Steve, I actually live at their house, and I work with Steve up in New South Wales, and I've been staying at his house for the last 3 years now on my way to America, and I bring him back pictures and stories of what happens over there, and I guess he thought I deserved a bit of a go and thought he'd help me out and give Harry a ring.
Right, so Harry came up with the goods and supplied the motor car.
That's right.
How important is it to get across to America and learn?
I think it's very important in this day and age, especially for young guys like myself, because you need to really get experience on a lot of these older guys that have been around for 20 odd years, and the quickest and easiest way to do it is to go over there and try and get 150 races in, and just all of a sudden the experience will just come, I suppose.
Yeah, because you've toured over there how many times now?
3 years in a row, the last 3 years in a row.
And going back again?
Yeah, I'm planning to, yes.
Yeah. Have you got somebody to hook up with over there?
Yeah, last season I actually raced around California for 4 months, and I'm not driving the same car this year, but I've got some people that are making plans for me to drive for somebody else right now, so hopefully it'll come across, yeah.
Okay, this weekend, have you been happy with the deal?
So far I have been, yes. You know, we've had a couple of good placings so far, so we're kind of up in the points a little bit right now.
He had a great derby with Max Dumsey out there before. He couldn't get round you.
It was close. I wasn't going to drift up.
Did you know he was there?
Yeah, I knew he was there. You know, I knew it was a long way around. I knew it was slick, so I thought if I can just don't make a mistake and stay down low, you know, it's going to be tough for him. But the race is a long way. If I can get in the final and be happy, you know, I'm just there to have a real good time and do the best I can with the kind of equipment I've got, and you know, hope I can impress Harry.
That's great. All right, well, all the best. Have a great weekend, and hope we can talk to you after the race meeting.
Thanks very much.
Now we're here at Premier Speedway tonight, Charlie.
You're going to interview, mate.
You're going to do it, George. He's going to do it, George.
What do you think of the track tonight, Charlie?
Shut up.
I'll ask the questions.
What do you reckon? You about right? Well, Premier Speedway and Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic lately wouldn't be complete without Max Dumsey. Max, it's great to see you back at Premier.
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's been a good night for some of us, but not so good for us so far.
Well, Max, 3 times in a row you've run second. So what's going to happen this weekend?
I don't really know. I'm not looking too good for second at the moment, but there's still a bit of racing to go. We've got another heat and we're off the front, so we can get a few points out of that.
Yeah.
And just hopefully we can get up there in the top 4, because that'll really make a difference to being there at the end, I'd say.
Well, you and Jack Ewart have been the form people in the Winfield Series and the major races around Australia. And at the moment, Jack's got himself up there on 22 or 23 points and you're back on 11. That last heat had me a bit mystified. You started down the back and didn't do a lot. Got up onto Jamie Cobby, didn't move forward much.
Well, it had me a bit mystified too. Like, the track wasn't in any shape to pass anyone, and I was trying to get underneath Jamie, but he was just driving round on the bottom and didn't leave any room, so it was good driving on his part, and there's nothing I could do. I was just stuck behind him. I tried the outside line and it didn't work, so I just had to follow him.
I was just talking to Jack a while ago, and he's a bit worried about the fact that they're scratching the track up at the moment.
I hope he's
changing
worried.
all night.
Yeah, I hope.
Would you prefer it a slick track or?
No, not at all.
No.
I'd hope it to be really hooky and stay hooky. I'd really appreciate that. So anyone up there, if you can organise it, it'd be great.
This is a year that we're going to run the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic and the Australian title without Gary Rush. It's one hell of a year for somebody to win it, isn't it? Because they're going to say, but Rushy wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you've always had it in your mind that you would never be number 1 until you beat Gary Rush. Does that still stand?
No, because the Winfield series at the moment, to me, every round of the Winfield series is an Australian title, and we've beaten Gary consistently in every round of the Winfield series, so he's not on the pace, so it doesn't really worry me. So.
What do you think about it at this stage of the night? 3 rounds down, 1 to go. You're back there well down in the field at the moment. What's your thoughts at the moment? Do you think about the race now, or do you wait till you get out there?
We'll wait till we get out there. There's nothing we can do until we get there, so we'll just wait and see.
Right, and you rely on John Sidney to set the car up?
Yep, well, we converse a bit about what's going on, and sort of John basically sets it up. Hopefully he gets it right.
Yep. Okay, well, Max, we wish you all the best, and we'll be certainly watching you out of the last heat. You come off the pole, so you'll be looking for 9 big points and get yourself up there in that first couple of rows, and all the best.
No worries. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks. And we've got some fantastic drivers, particularly up front. Jack Ewart, the form man all weekend, coming off the pole. George and Brooke Tatnall finished with equal points, 25 points each, and George drew the marble, put himself on position number 2. Young Brooke coming out of 3, and Jamie Moyle has performed brilliantly here all weekend, coming out of 4. Danny Smith probably a little disappointed coming out of position 5, but what a great job from New South Wales 11, Skip Jackson, coming out of 6. And Max Dumsey put in 1 bad heat and dropped a few points, and he's coming out of position 7, so that's going to be a real go. Out of position 8 will be Stephen Arrigo, his first Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic.
Ian Lewis, the ex-Victorian champion, coming out of 9. David Anderson from Albury. And what a great effort from Mark Wells. He'll be absolutely excited at coming over from the west, and all he wanted to do was qualify. Well, Mark Wells, you've qualified in 11th position, and here you are all set to go in your 35-lap grand final. We go back to Jamie Cobby in New South Wales 4 out of 12. Wayne Bunker, the consistent Wayne Bunker from South Australia, in 13. Bobby Allen from the USA was a little bit disappointed early in the night at not being able to get on the pace. Well, he's back in 14. He's got the job in front of him. One of the veterans of the field, Bobby Tunks, one of the most consistent people over the last 20 years in New South Wales 54, coming out of 15. And the rookie of the field, I would think, would be Nathan McDonald, the youngster out of Queensland. He's put on a great performance up in Queensland in the Winfield rounds, raced against the Yanks, and here he is on the back row of the field here for this 35-lap Grand Annual Classic. So as the crowd now rise to their feet, and they've given them a magnificent fanfare here as they've gone up past the grandstand, and they're about to do an extra lap, 35 laps on the board. I guess the only feeling we could have here at the moment is Gary Rush, 5 times winner of the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, is not with us. But boy, it's a magnificent field. There's a lot of good cars still sitting out there in the pits. And we've got the cream of Australian Speedway with us here at the moment. The track's in absolutely magic condition, and we're all set for a start. Let's hope we get a trouble-free one. We have run the 35 laps before. And Jack Hewitt, Jack the Jet Hewitt, leads them in. They hit the white line. God, well, one of the Tatnells has mucked it up. It was Brooke mucked it up at the start. Hewitt's got the lead, and Tatnell's coming underneath him. George Tatnell almost knocked him off on the first turn. And as we check them out as they come through, and somebody's got sideways up in turn 2 or 3, but he's okay. It was Brooke Tatnell. He's still in trouble. As we check them out as they go through now, it's Hewitt in USA 21. Then we go back to George Tatnell in the number 5 car. Well, wait as they come down the straight here, it's Jamie Moyle into 3rd place. Danny Smith's got himself up there in the 3 car, and he's right on the pace at the moment. Skip Jackson back a little bit, and Max Stumsey trying to fight his way up from the back of the pack. Brooke Tatnell still in diabolical trouble as he comes through turn 3-4. We go back with the leaders. It's Jack Hewitt in the 21 car. He's holding off a determined George Tatnell, and somebody's in trouble. It's Ian Lewis. Got himself back on the track. Mark Wells is in on the infield. What rotten luck for Mark Wells. He's just about to be lapped now by Jack Hewitt. As Jack Hewitt comes up the back straight with 30 laps to go. They've put down the first 5 reasonably trouble-free. But we'll check it out now as we go through. It's the 21 car of Jack Hewitt. George Tatnell hanging in there in 2nd place. Danny Smith now has got himself into 3rd. Here's a surprise from Danny Smith. Tatnell's got himself sideways. Oh, George has muffed it. He's dropped a place. So now we go back to Jack Hewitt. Jack Hewitt's in 1st place. Then we go back to Danny Smith. George Tatnell's picked himself up and he's back in 3rd place. Jamie Moyle in 4th in the 69 car. Max Stumsey in 5th. We go back a little bit further and it's Skip Jackson in the 11 car, then Brooke Tatnell in the 15. Further back in the field is David Anderson in the 37 car and Stephen Arrigo in 12. We'll pick up Jack Hewitt this time. 27 laps to go on the board. And Jack Hewitt's still doing it nicely up the back straight. We try to pick up Danny Smith. He's not far behind him. Danny Smith about 30 or 40 metres behind him. Then we go back to George Tatnell. And Jack Hewitt weaving through the field. Jack Hewitt certainly got his sights set here on the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. He's about to come up and lap one of his countrymen. And Bobby Allen started well down the field. Here comes Hewitt. He's coming up on the rear end of Bobby Allen and goes right round the outside of him. Danny Smith still there in 2nd place. Then we go back looking for George Tatnell, and it's a go here between George Tatnell and Jamie Moyle. So we go back with Hewitt. Hewitt's still in 1st place. Then there would be Jamie Moyle in 2nd place in the 69 car. Then we go back to George Tatnell. Max Stumsey's tacked up on the back of George Tatnell. We'd have to drop back further through the field, then it'd be, I think, Brooke Tacknell. Brooke Tacknell then running in about 5th place, and Dumsey's clipped somebody over on the back straight. He's clipped George Tacknell and put George Tacknell round. Well, boy, oh boy, will George be upset about that. Okay, we'll go back with the leader. We're waiting for Jack Hewitt to come through. And as Jack Hewitt comes down the main straightway, in 1st place. Danny Smith still in 2nd. We've got the 21 car in front. Danny Smith in 2nd. Then we go back to Jamie Moyle. Jamie Moyle and Max Dumsey having a battle royal. Back for 3rd and 4th place, and Dumsey goes through. A big change here at 19 laps to go. And Dumsey's fought his way through to 3rd place in the 1991 Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. So we'll go back and pick up Hewitt. Hewitt down into turn 1, 2. And Hewitt's got about, well, he's got a buffer of a car or so between him and Danny Smith. Danny Smith still running in 2nd place. Max Dumsey still in there, I think, in 3rd place. Dumsey should have picked himself up. We're just trying to pick him up as he goes down the main straight. There goes Dumsey. He's in 3rd place, but he's a bit back off the pace. Jamie Moyle still hanging in there in 4th. And somebody's lost a wing up in turn 3, 4. It looks like George Tacknell. He's still in trouble, George Tacknell. Well, it just is not poor old George's night. But Brooke Tacknell now starting to pick up the back of Jamie Moyle. So Brooke Tacknell would be running in about 5th place. We'll go back with Hewitt and pick up Jackie Hewitt. We've got a orange light on. It looks like George Tacknell's wing has come off. George Tacknell has lost his front wing, and there's been a caution light out. So we'll have to wait till they settle down. But there is 16 laps to go, and there's been some incidents here already. George Tacknell and Max Dumsey were involved in one incident up the back straight. George ended up spinning around and got back on the track again. Then a little bit later he's lost his wing. George Tacknell's pulled out at the moment. He's about to get out of the car. It looks like the 1991 Classic might be lost to George Tacknell. Yeah, certainly getting out of the car. But boy, there's been some great drives so far. Jackie Hewitt has not put a foot wrong at the moment, and Danny Smith is the big surprise. Danny Smith has fought his way up from midfield and got himself up to 2nd. And Max Dumsey, of course, has come out of position number 7. He's got himself in a 3rd place. There's been some great drives here. Jamie Moyle was one of them. Jamie Moyle and Max Dumsey battled the field. Brooke Tacknell's hanging in there. Skip Jackson. It's going to take a little while now for them to sort them out with 16 to go. But it's Jack Hewitt. Jack, can he do it? Hewitt. Well, he's got the runs on the board at the moment. And it's American cars, 1, 2. The first of the Australians is Max Dumsey in the number 5 car. And this has given them all a bit of a breather. Jamie Moyle, great effort from Jamie Moyle, has settled down into 4th place. Then we've got Brooke Tacknell sitting back in 5th. David Anderson in 6th. Skip Jackson in 7. Stephen Arrigo in 8. Followed by Ian Lewis, Wayne Bunker, Jamie Cobby, Bobby Allen, Mark Wells, Bobby Tunks, and Nathan McDonald at the back of the pack. Well, George Tacknell sitting down in centre field, just sitting there with his head in his hands. He's put everything into this particular event, and he's just sitting there. It's all gone wrong for him at the moment. He gave it his best shot. But we go back with the leader. The green flag's in the air, and it's 16 laps. It'll be a 16-lap sprint race. Hewitt throws off a tearaway, and Dumsey trying to pick up Danny Smith. And they're back in a racing. They've picked up the action, and it's Danny Smith out trying to hold off Max Dumsey for 2nd place, but it's Hewitt out front. And Danny Smith looks like he's picked up a bit of horsepower. Maybe he could be the sleeper in the pack. But Dumsey with the front wheels off the ground as he exits turn 1, 2. So we go back and pick them up. Track starting to go that little bit slick, and Jack Hewitt starting to move up the track. This is Jack Hewitt's type of track. He's got the right rear sitting up there in the cushion, and he's looking real good. Jack Hewitt sitting up there with Danny Smith behind him. Max Dumsney valiantly trying to get on the tail of Smith. We go back to 4th place and it's still Jamie Moyle. Brooke Tatnell into 5th. George Tatnell will be in the centre, just willing his young guy there to pick up a couple of places. But it's all Hewitt out front. He's got it in the bag here at the moment with 12 laps to go. Hewitt down the back straight. Smith under siege from Dumsney. He knows Max Dumsney's not far away from him. Boyle still looking good. They're getting up onto the cushion now. They're all starting to run the right-hand rear into the cushion, and Max Dumsney almost overcooked it. Hewitt starting to pick up the traffic again. This is what's going to win and lose the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. Hewitt, magic in traffic. Watch him come up now on the back of Nathan McDonald. He slides down on the inside of McDonald as McDonald lifts the wheel. Hewitt knows he's only got to hold it straight. He's got to pick the right side of some of these guys. Wayne Bucker coming up on a Wayne Bucker now. What does he do? Smith. He's still back there in second. And here's Jack Hewitt. Jack Hewitt keeping down a little bit lower this time. He's still got this Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic in his grasp. All he's got to do is hold it together. Lap starting to run down, 8 to go. Hewitt into turn 1, turn 2. He's almost about to lap Bobby Allen again. Hewitt hasn't put a foot wrong all weekend. He's been the form man and he's really got it all together here. Down on the inside of Bobby Allen. A great drive by Jack Hewitt, and Danny Smith hasn't given up yet either. Max Dumsney's dropped off the pace a little. He's lost a little bit of ground on Danny Smith. But I've seen Danny Smith come home before. Maybe he's got the right tyre on. I don't know. We won't know for another 5 laps. Hewitt, will he hold it together? Down the front straight once more. Jack Hewitt, still looking good from Danny Smith, and Danny Smith went the full car inside the pole line that time on Mark Wells. Danny Smith has given it his best shot. He's absolutely thrown everything at it. But Hewitt's got a car between him and Danny Smith again. Well, the track's starting to get real slick now, and the real professionals are starting to look for where the bite is. 3 to go for Jack Hewitt. He's gone through with 3 to go. Danny Smith. 2 to go now. 2 to go as Hewitt comes down. It's been another great Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, and there's the white flag. Hewitt on his merry way up the back straight. And it looks like Jack Hewitt's going to take out the 1991 Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, and there goes the checker flag. Well, what a great effort. Second over the line, Danny Smith. Third to be Max Dumsney. We look for 4th, and I think it would be Jamie Moyle. Back to Brooke Tatnell. Well, what a great effort. And the crowd really appreciate the driving. Well, Danny Smith and Max Dumsney gave it their all, but they were chasing the true professional, the guy who runs 150 events in America, comes out here and runs the summer. He's proved his worth, and Jack Hewitt will be appearing very shortly to be presented with first place in the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. He'll be absolutely elated. Danny Smith couldn't give it any more. It was a great drive, and of course third home was Max Dumsney.
Work with you, but now, most importantly, is the people that won this big race. Let's have them.
Thanks, Gus. And let's get straight into that. Ladies and gentlemen, third place in the Bonham Sawmills 1991 Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic needs no introduction to Warrnambool, Max Dumsney.
Hey, Gus.
Max, get
Gus, how you doing, mate?
All right, pal.
Not too bad.
You know, your consistency is amazing. You just got to pick it up a pace, that's all. And you're right there, mate. I want to put that on you. There you go. And then I guess we got to also present the trophy. And I know that there's so many people out here that wanted you to slip in there in that first spot, pal. But you did a hell of a job. Congratulations. What else we got? And we got a beautiful bottle of the Great Western Imperial Reserve for you to celebrate with, and I think you'll probably do all right with that one. And is there and an envelope? Well, this is the most important part, I suppose. You're probably giving this first. Congratulations. And next year, all you got to do is pick it up one spot.
2 spots.
2 spots, yeah.
Thank you. Well, thanks, Gus. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, everybody, for coming here tonight on such a rain-stricken looking night. But it's great. I'm really pleased that they did something with the track and got the track a bit nice, because it would have been a real tire eater for everybody, I think, in the feature. But it turned out to be a pretty nice track, and you could really race on it. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'd just like to take this opportunity to congratulate Jack on his last race here, and he's been wanting to win this one the whole time he's been here. And he said to me Friday night, he said, I won this the Friday night, so he says it's his turn on Sunday night, and that's what it turned out to be. So congratulations, and also thanks to my sponsors, Valvoline, Top Cat Paints, and John Sydney Racing, and thanks everybody for coming.
Would you please thank Max Stumsley, ladies and gentlemen? Third place winner of Classic for 91. I'm going to ask the second place getter to bring his dad with him.
Senior Smith.
Where's Senior Smith? Come on, Mick, come up here. Danny Smith, ladies and gentlemen, our second place getter. We're going to catch up with Mick in a second, sitting back there. Gus is here.
Hi.
All right,
how you doing?
pal.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, we've met you up here a couple of times, haven't we, pal?
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 years ago, we met you 2 years in a row. And again, this year, it's a
winner's
pleasure
circle.
seeing you. It really is. I got to give you this, of course. And you put that over here. That's your dad with you, is he? Yes. How's that?
I might go on to say, Gus, it's his father's first trip down under.
Well, Mr. Smith, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You got to come down all of you guys from Milwaukee. Welcome to Australia. Hope you like Australia as much as I do, pal.
Been real nice. Been real nice. Been just had a lot of fun. Danny's been coming here for 9 years now, and I finally got the chance to get here. Thanks for having me.
The hardware, of course, going to Danny Smith for second place, Gus. Another beautiful.
Danny, there it is. As I say, we've offered you the first place on a number of occasions. You picked up first place here many times. You know what it's like. And, of course, you know what it's like to win. And a good winner can take that time when he doesn't win. Every once in a while, of course. And you're a champ, pal. Anybody's like this. And a check. That's nice. Dad, you want to hang on to the check? The son, just in case. And it's gone, man. It's gone. And there's something to help celebrate. I won't give this to your dad. I'll give that to you. Danny, congratulations.
Danny, before you speak, we were getting a bad habit of this bridesmaid stuff.
Well, yeah. This is our 8th, second, and 10 races. We won 1 and crashed the other night at Mount Gambier. So, yeah, we come to win, and the crew, I got the hardest working crew in Australia, I believe. Those guys work their rear ends off. We've had plenty of work this season, a lot of little problems, and just kept them busy all the time. And the grader here has kept us busy, changing back and forth our setup. We hit it pretty good for the feature. Been nice to start up front with Jack, and might have given him a little better run for some money, but he's about the same speed as he was, and when it's all said and done, well, I guess we'll take second.
Danny Smith, 5 times to victory lane tonight, second place getter, a great returning racer here at Premier Speedway. Please put them together. Before the next guy comes up there, I just want to say one short, quick thing. I've seen this guy come for a lot of years. I've never seen him put in a season like this one. The winner of the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic for 1991, Jack Hewitt.
Jack, congratulations, pal.
Thank you very much.
A big win for you. You're also leading the total in the other big one, too, aren't you? You're doing well. Good race. Hell of a race. What do you think about it? I mean, there was a couple of times there it looked a bit dicey because you're losing just a little bit of traction at times, were you?
Yeah, we were a little bit loose, you know. We was afraid the track was going to stay real heavy, and it looked like the top was going to be the place to run, so we kept our car kind of loose. And as it turned out, you know, we had a little trouble with lap traffic, but I guess everybody else did too, and we ended up in the winner's circle.
Okay, I'm going to give you a check for being in the winner's circle, and then I'm going to give you a trophy. right here for #1 in the Classic, the 19th Classic here at Warrnambool, which is a tremendous one to win at any time, of course, and a big bottle of champagne to celebrate with. Jack, all the very best. We hope to see you down here again. I've been down here, this is my 4th year coming down here, and I hope to see you in the 5th and the 6th and the 7th and so on.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank Scruff Donalds and old Muffy for furnishing me the equipment that I've got to be capable of winning, you know, and we've got a lot of sponsors with Weld Wheel and McCurry Tires and Carrera Shocks and everything, and without them, none of it would be possible. But Tim Clark's the one that's made the big difference for us this year. You know, we've been together for a year and a half, and the preparation on the car has been so much better this year compared to last year. And not taking nothing away, but we had a year to get our act together. And Tim's paid dividends this year, you know, and he's where I'm going to put a lot of thanks to this year as far as why we've won a lot. But we've had a lot of helpers across the country, and they've made it all possible. And then when you guys got guys like Max Dumptony and Danny Smith and them guys chasing you all year, it's going to get you going a little faster, you know. It's like the dog track, you know. We're the rabbit and they're chasing it, and they just make you go all the faster. You never catch the rabbit, so when you get out front, you better stay there because them dogs are on your heels somewhere, you know. And we just try real hard, and I have to say Warrnambool's probably got the greatest fans in the whole country because they come here to see a race, and if it rains, if the lights go out, whatever, they don't leave the hill, you know, and it's people like you that make it fun to race for, you know. I've cussed the grader drivers and everything for a couple years here, but there's nobody that works any harder than them guys. I'm going to thank them, and tonight, well, they've been good to me this year, and last year they were bad, but they did their job, we did ours, and we hope you all got your money's worth for coming here tonight.
Well, the winner of the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, Jack Hewitt. Gus, thank you very much. Another great classic. And I think the people we really should be thanking is, of course, the people from Bonham Sawmills.
Well, as I said before, Gavin Rowe and Bonham Sawmills, they sponsored this for the last 4 years, and he's been to every one of these classics. And, of course, great thanks to him and to the caterers and to all the people that help out. But again, I have to reiterate the fact that the officials, the guys that put so much time into to working the track, to manning the gates, to parking the cars, they deserve so much credit because they're real champions too. And I think all the folks that appreciate that the officials here are first class. So they're champions along with guys like the races that we've just honored.
Would you thank Gus Mercurio, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us tonight and really put it together for our 3 place getters in the Bonham Sawmills 91 Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic.